All right, Shalom. Before I get started, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak Wadash. I want to give double honors to our elders, apostles, and great millstone who taught us this truth and rule well. I want to give peace and blessings to the Aki and put it on as the elect, striving for perfection and a crown of righteousness by being obedient to what's written inside these scriptures. Shalom. This is your brother Kassad out of Great Millstone, Houston, coming to you with a lesson going in on the 2/3. Jake, how he's completely devoted and has all his chips on the table for Esau Edom, how he's completely invested, in oppression, suffering from Stockholm syndrome and all sorts of things, right? He is completely out of his mind at this point in time, man. And that, really as he's always been. How he's always trusted in oppression, how he's always seeked the counsel of everyone but Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. He always felt as though he had options, and it's coming to that point that, man, it's nothing but death and destruction coming upon the 2/3. All right, and for their foolish ways. And the Lord has them in a stupor right now, man. I'm gonna play this clip, and it's free use, and perfectly this would be edifying to the body.
Say what I want, and then I'll fucking leave. I am so sick of you foreigners coming to my country and treating me like shit.
So a little background on this Jake. He fell asleep inside the Panera Bread, right? Eating one of those Panera Bread sandwiches or something. He fell asleep, right? He woke up to, the law, security guards, and, I guess this Hispanic fella staring at him, telling him he needs to get up and get out. This ain't no place where you take naps at. And he completely goes ballistic, After he wakes up from his slumber, probably got drool all on his face, crust all in his eyes and shit. And he's irate at this point, man. And he goes on one of these tirades that you see the Edomite goes on, man. Talking about what he has and what is his and everything. And this is Jake, man. This is Jake, you ain't got shit. But I'm gonna continue to play this.
This is my country. You are a foreigner on my land. You racist. You mother racist. You piece of shit.
So, Jake completely out his damn mind, talking about his country and everything, in which he has no country, right? He's talking to, Issachar, so-called Mexican, telling him that this isn't his country, when in actuality it's more Issachar's country than it is any of their countries, man. Right? And Jake don't even know what the hell he's talking about, listening to the philosophy of Esau Edom. All right? Who is the damn devil the Bible speaks of when it comes down to it. So it's Proverbs 3:31. Start off here. It says, envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways. Okay, so Jake is envious and has been envious of the oppressor. And in a time frame before, man, we came into the truth, a lot of us was also envious of the oppressor. But the scripture said until we came into the sanctuary in the book of Psalm 73rd chapter, says that until we came into that sanctuary and we seen their latter end. So so now ain't no reason to be envious of somebody that is, his days are numbered, so to speak, man. We know he's coming to an end. And we know that he's the wicked as well. So coming into the sanctuary, which are, the men of the Lord who are operating in this wisdom, knowledge, understanding, and teaching the truth, and setting their faces against Mount Seir, all right, who is Esau Edom, the Edomite, self-proclaimed white man. So we've been educated to understand or brought back into remembrance of who Esau is, man, and how wicked he is as well. So we don't envy this oppressor at all, man, and we choose none of his ways. Okay, but 2/3 of us, they do. This is Jeremiah 2:31. It says, "O generation, see ye the word of the Lord. Have I been a wilderness unto Israel? A land of darkness? Wherefore say my people, we are lords, we will come no more unto thee." Okay, so these people think if they gotten up in some type of society, and it's not true. They think that they've moved up. You know, people are getting treated equal and stuff like that. Think they have rights and liberty and justice and peace, and it's the furthest thing from that. All right, these people are under a strange illusion or a strong illusion, thinking that they have any type of rights or anything. As long as Esau Edom, who is the red horse in the book of Revelations, talks about, man, there'll never be any peace on earth, man. The scripture said he's taking peace off the earth, so there's never going to be justice or peace while Esau Edom is in rulership. It's Jeremiah 2:32. It says, "Can a maid forget her ornaments, or a bride her attire? Yet my people have forgotten me days without number." Okay, so the people, Israel, man, they've forgotten the Lord. All right, they've forgotten His ways, right? And they've trusted in oppression. They're trusting in Esau's system. It's Jeremiah 2:33. It says, "Why trimmest thou thy way to seek love?" And this is what you see mostly on a day-to-day, man. Right? If Esau Edom can't make it or be saved, or somebody's not, saving Esau in some type of way on a day-to-day, Jake's not going to feel right. He's completely in love with his oppressor. Right? When the scriptures completely clearly tells us to come out of Babylon, be ye separate and set apart from the workers of iniquity, or take of the same destruction of this place. Right? Take of the same destruction of the people of the Lord's curse, who is Esau Edom, man. So it says, "Why trimmest thou ways to seek love? Therefore hast thou also taught the wicked ones thy ways." Okay? So they taught the wicked ones the ways, but man, the wicked ones hate instruction. Okay? They hate instruction. That's enough on that. Jump to this Isaiah 30:1. It says, "Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin." All right, so they're taking counsel of worldly doctrine, philosophies. Esau Edom's backwards ass doctrine that says that, do as thy wilt. Hippie love, everybody love everybody. That Caesar Borgia madness, right? Everybody's accepted. Everybody, this is not conclusive. This is for everybody, right? So it says that walk to go down into Egypt and have not asked at my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. Okay, so these people, they trust in Egypt. Egypt today and the Pharaoh today is the modern day Babylonian, who is the Edomite, all right, which is America. So Egypt will be referred to as America, right? And the Pharaoh will be known as the Edomite, who is ruling over the Israelites at this point in time in history. So it says, "Therefore it says that walk to go down into Egypt and have not asked at my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion." All right, so confusion, man. This is what you see Jacob, the state of Jacob, the sake of the 2/3 Jake in right now, man. Nothing but confusion. Okay, he's a direct product of Esau Edom. Whatever Esau Edom, the self-proclaimed white man, tells him he is, while he promotes in these songs, these movies, this is what Jake is doing. He tells him he's a homosexual. He's a raging homosexual out here. He's a gangbanger. He's an aggressive, hypersexual individual. This is who he is. He's stupid. He's dumb. And Jake's going to pick it all up and say, and the woman especially, they're going to pick it up and say, this is our culture. All right. Esau Edom wants the Israelites to be not dressed in modest apparel. He wants them dressed like whores and harlots. And this is what you see out here in these streets, man. The women dressed like whores and harlots of the Israelites, man. All the women of the earth, when it comes down to it. Because if the Israelites do it, the rest of the world is going to do it. They're going to copy after the Israelites, man, as they always done. Because, Esau knows that, man, we are the salt of the earth. We are God's chosen seed. So it says, "Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in shadow of Egypt your confusion. For his princes were at Zoan, and his ambassadors came to Hanes. They were all ashamed of a people that could not profit them, nor being a help, nor profit, but a shame, and also a reproach. The burdens of the beast of the south into the land of trouble, and anguish from whence come the young old lion, the viper and fiery flying serpent. They will carry their riches upon their shoulders of young asses, and their treasures upon the bunches of camels, to the people that shall not profit them. Okay? So they're taking everything into a people that will not profit them, everything that they so-called had and belong, all their goods. It says, for the Egyptians shall help in vain, and to no purpose. Therefore have I cried concerning this, their strength is to sit still. It says, now go write it before them in a table, and note it in a book, that it may be for the time to come, forever and ever, that this is the rebellious people, lying children that will not hear the law of the Lord, which say to the seers, who are the prophets, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things. Speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceits. So now you see these modern day church people, and these so-called pastors preaching nothing but godliness is gain. Godliness is gain, and basically homosexuality straight out the pulpit, and pedophilia. This is what they're preaching. If you want to get up in society, you have to be a part of Esau Edom's way of life, right? Be selfish, okay? Be unsatisfied with what you had, uncontent, and continue to and to covet other things and other people. It's shit at the end of the day, right? This is what they teach you in these modern day harlot houses that they call churches. It says, so get you out of the way, turn aside out of the path, because the Holy One of Israel to cease from before us. Wherefore thus saith the Holy One of Israel, because ye despise this word, and trust in oppression and perversiveness, and stay thereon. So Israel is known for trusting in perversiveness, trusting in oppression. All right. And he says, stay thereon. It says, therefore the iniquity shall be to you as a breach ready to fall, swelling out in a high wall, whose breaking comes suddenly at an instant. So these individuals you see on a day-to-day that are a hook sinkered inside of this society, their destruction is going to be all of a sudden. Okay, they're going to realize, and when they get hit with reality, we like to say out on the block, you're not going to get hit with a car, or with a bat or something. It's going to be a whole train that run you over. Not just slapped with reality. It's going to be a train that railroads you over in that day of reality. You're going to realize in that day how fucking gone and how off you are. Trusting in Esau Edom, the same man who has hated you. You know what I'm saying? Forever. All right? Forever. All right? I'm jumping to this Isaiah 5. Let's see. 1 and 5 says, why should you be stricken anymore? You will revolt more and more. The whole head is sick, and the whole heart is faint. Okay? The whole head, Jake, in this state that we live in, is sick. All right? The heart is faint. That means you weak at the end of the day, man. If your heart's faint, you weak. All right? It says, from the sole of the feet even unto the head, there is no soundness, or no common sense. Nothing makes sense inside of this Jake. All right, talking about this is my country, right? You've seen a lot of this going on in Chicago right now with the people that are coming over the border, right? You seeing Jake and Grove standing up talking about they're not gonna take in these people, right? So they don't stand up for the crime, the shootings that you see every weekend, Memorial Day weekend, all these deaths, murders, none of that drill music shit. You don't see them standing together on none of that. They profit off all that, right? But yet they see these individuals, these so-called refugees or migrants coming into town, and now they want to stand up, okay? And the Edomites around them are saying that, man, we see y'all living like jungles and living like animals in a jungle out here. Okay, what you say really doesn't even matter. Okay, this is how they're looking at them. They're like they're sitting there talking about how this is ours and we want to beautify this and beautify that, and we can't have migrants coming over here and everything inside those Chicago meetings. But yet Edomites are sitting back like, you pulling a note out of our book. All right, You saying one thing, but you live in a totally different kind of way. You know? And so the situation right now, Jake has completely become the Edomite. Okay? He is completely walking in Esau Edom's ways. You know, the nigga, the Keisha, you know, Shirley and them, they walking all inside of Esau Edom's ways. All right? So what they do is to be expected the same as Esau Edom. Right? So it says they have not been closed, neither bounded up, neither mollified. It says, start at the top. It says, from the sole of the foot even to the head, there is no soundness in it, but wounds and bruises and purified sores. That means just easy enough to say it, they just fucked up. All right. All these wounds, you know, come from slavery, come from poverty, come from, you know, never being healed, never being put into a rightful state. Right. So we just in a broken condition. So it says, but wounds and bruises and purified sores, they have not been closed, neither bounded up, neither mollified with ointment. You know, and it goes into this in the book of Chronicles, around 36th chapter. It goes into how they misused the prophets, you know, and how they never listened to the prophets. So then the Lord came and destroyed them with no remedy. All right. A remedy goes into that ointment, right? That ointment that you need to put on that the wounds to be healed. So in that ointment, when it comes down to it, is there's wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. So they never took the counsel of the Lord. So therefore, they're in this broken state that you still see to this day. All right. And it says, your country is desolate. Your cities are burned with fire. Your land, strangers devour it in your presence. And it is desolate, as overthrown by strangers. And man, this is where you see not only the dwelling places of Jake, or in the former dwelling places of Jake. You know, it's desolate. Strangers is ruling it. You know, just all you see is destruction. All right, disparity. You know, and in the places that Jake is prominently living. You know, so you trust in oppression. You don't acknowledge who you are, you know, in these scriptures. And even if you do, you don't live by that word. So, man, hey, it's nothing but death and destruction that's coming towards you, of the 2/3 of Jake, man. So it behooves you to listen to the words of the Lord, to the prophets you see on the highways and byways, speaking that 100% truth and gospel. Because if not, man, it's just going to be more destruction for you. So with that, perfectly just edifying to the body. Shalom.